If you're not using these level up strategies in Madden 24, what are you doing? Figure it out. Now, I'm just joking, but so safe family, and welcome back to another Madden 24 video. Hope you watching this one are having a wonderful start to your day. Hope you enjoyed the Super Bowl yesterday. I'm not gonna lie, the game started out kind of boring, but for basically the entire fourth quarter and all of overtime, I was standing in front of my TV. And I know a lot of people are not a fan of some of the defensive games, but I liked it in the first half, I liked it in the second half, and honestly, Mahomes, bro, he's on Brady's booty, I can't lie. Now, but without further ado, let's get started with this video and talk about one aspect of Madden that I kind of like to refresh you guys on every couple of months to make sure you've got completed, as well as give you some tips. Now, what is that section, Swift? You might be asking. Well, I've got an answer for you. We're going on over to our season field pass right here, and we are going to our weekly milestones. I know. A lot of you guys have probably done the majority of these, but I don't think everyone has done all of them. Let's talk about what you got to do to optimize and get these done. Now, kind of the way I'm going to be structuring this is we're going to be grouping in multiple different milestones together so you guys can kind of go through and do everything at the same time. I don't want you guys going through doing like one milestone at a time. No, we'll do all of them at the same time. Now, the first one I want to talk about is punt return and kick return touchdowns. For a lot of people watching this video, you might not have gotten this one completed. This mission right here to get 3 punt or kickoff returns in head-to-head or solo battles, people might not have done because you got to play solo battles and consciously try and score, or you got to play online and get lucky and get a touchdown. Now, there's this mission right here in week number 2. There's also going to be another one right here in week number 4 where you got to get 3 punt or kick return touchdowns. So we're going to go through, and the first thing I want you guys doing, if you haven't done either of those missions, is we're going to solo battles. We're not going to do anything too crazy right here, and we're going to go through, play the easiest opponent, play them on the worst difficulty possible, and you can basically score kick return touchdowns every single time you get a kick return. If you get a punt return, you can probably take that back to the crib as well. It's not all that difficult. Now, I will say, you can't quit out of the game right after you get your 3. It's not going to register, so I believe you're going to have to play the game out in full, which is kind of annoying. Probably going to take you about 15 minutes to go through and get that done, but you're going to complete both of those missions, which is worth it. Go to opponent select, pick Cash 3058. Sorry, buddy, you got a trash team, and then play them on the lowest difficulty. That's all you got to do. Moving on, let's talk about the offensive missions in this game, because honestly, I've been lacking on one of these. We're going to start it off with rushing, then we'll talk about passing. In terms of rushing missions, as you guys can see, there's rushing for 1,000 yards with 3 playoff players in your lineup, which is one we're going to try and complete. And then there's also going to be going through and scoring 15 rushing touchdowns. Now, how are we going to do both of those? Well, we're just going to find a solo and basically rip it over and over again. Of course, you got to have the playoff players in your lineup, so if you don't have those cards in your lineup, be sure you're going through, buying them on the auction block, and then play this solo right here. Now, which one is it, Swift, you might ask? Well, you can really play any solo in this game, and just to kind of keep things simple, we're going to go to Josh Dobbs, we're going to go to Pastronaut number 2 right here, and we're going to play this on 1-star difficulty. Starts you off on the 35-yard line, which is solid. There's better solos, but I think this one is good enough, and we can use this for passing as well, which makes it pretty easy, so we're kind of just going to use this solo for both our passing and our rushing. For our rushing, all you're going to do is have those cards in your lineup, call like HB stretch. And I will say, if you guys want to skip the touchdown animation, you have to run to the middle of the field, so between the 10s, and then you have to start showboating inside the 5-yard line. I'll show you guys what I mean by that. This is actually kind of important for grinding solos. So as you guys can see right here, we're going to try and get to within the 10-yard line, or sorry, in between the 2 hashes right here. And then if we start showboating inside the 10-yard line, it's going to give us that animation, and that animation skips any touchdown celebration where you have to spike it or like watch them do something. So that's just a quick tip while you're grinding that. Now, next up, we also have some of the passing stuff, which we do need to talk about. I'm assuming most people have probably already gotten a lot of this passing stuff done, but in the background, we're actually leveling up something by doing that, so we'll take that. But like I was saying, for the passing stuff right here, the missions are basically the same. We're going to go to the exact same mission, but if you have not done any of these missions I'm about to show you, go to that mission and get on the grind. The first one is passing for 1,000 yards with 2 playoff players in your lineup. At this point, you've already got the playoff cards in your lineup, which is awesome, so you can get on the grind right there. You're also going to be getting progress on scoring 125 points, because every single time you score a touchdown, well, that's 6 points. And then additionally, you're also going to be going through and getting progress on scoring 125 points with 3 Super Bowl present players in your lineup. As long as you get some Super Bowl present cards, I would get on the grind. I would play that exact same solo until those missions are completed. I'm actually lacking because I haven't done the rushing. I gotta get that done off camera. To buy Madden 24 coins for the cheapest price on the internet, check out MMOEXP by clicking the link in the description and use promo code SWIFT at checkout for 5% off. Now, next up, really quickly, in terms of kicking 20 field goals, we have talked about this before on the channel, so I'm literally just going to show you how to do this in 10 seconds. If you have not done your kicking 10 field goals, go to the solos, go to legends, go to week 1 plus week 2, find Fred Taylor's first solo. So we're going to go to Fred Taylor's first solo right here, play this on 1-star difficulty, kick the field goal, replay the solo. It's going to say you failed the solo, but even though it says you failed the solo, you still get credit with kicking that field goal. So that's an absolute must right there. Now, moving on, at this point, you probably made a lot of good progress. Most of these missions some people might not have done. Like, I know a lot of people might not have had some of the players in their lineup to complete some of these. I know a lot of people might not have gotten to solo battles and gotten their kick return, punt return. Next up, let's talk a little bit about defense. Now, for the defensive missions, there's 10 INTs in head-to-head and solo battles. I'm kind of going to wait on that. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the video. There's force 5 fumbles, which isn't too difficult to do. There's also going to be getting 50 in sacks, as well as going through and getting 10 interceptions. Let's talk about it. Now, in terms of which solo challenge we're going to hop into to get progress on all that good stuff, I would say Legends is kind of just the gold mine, because you can go to Legend week number 1 and play against some really crummy teams. So we're going to go through here. We're just going to go to Richard Sherman's first solo challenge. This is playing against a 70 overall Broncos team on rookie. We'll take it. Now, I will say there's kind of 2 different strategies in here. Number 1 is if you need fumbles and you need sacks, this is what you got to do. Go through, call any all-out blitz. I do like dollar spinner right here. I'm going to call this right here. I'm going to press my defenders down, and I'm basically just sending everyone. Now, with this user right here, I'm either going to play man coverage on the running back, or I'm going to go through and blitz. If the running back stays in the block, we blitz him. If the running back goes on a route, we play man coverage. I could just replay that over and over again. Every time I replay it, you're probably going to get a sack fumble on like the first play, to be fully honest. It's not that difficult. Again, we're watching the running back. He stays in, so that means we got a pressure, and we're actually getting cooked by a 70 overall Jerry Jeudy. But you guys get the gist of it. You would basically just replay that over and over again. It isn't very difficult. You can probably get that done in just a couple seconds. Now, if you got to go through and you got to get interceptions, we talked about this before, but go to formations, special teams, call squeeze block. What this is going to do is it's going to trigger your opponent to calling verticals. They're going to audible. Once they do so, you're going to click square twice. So we click square twice. That's going to bring us to this man coverage look. And basically all I'm looking for is I'm looking for Russell Wilson to throw up a duck, and he's going to do that fairly often. Now, we get a sack fumble right there, which isn't what we were grinding for, but by going through and calling that play, a lot of the time the quarterback is just going to throw up an absolute duck, and if he does that, well, it's easy pickings. You can get the interception. Now, I will say grinding for INTs is a little bit more difficult, and it's honestly something I don't fully recommend you do. I would say just playing online is easier. You're going to play against guys who are worse than some of these rookie quarterbacks when you're playing online. And that's kind of like the last aspect of tips I want to give you in this video, because the last part of these missions are going to require you to go online. I'll show you guys right here exactly what I mean, but for these final few missions, just playing online is probably your best bet. Now, yeah, fellas, that is going to do it for me. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to leave a like. I just want to quickly take a second at the end of this video as well to say thank you to you for watching my videos and supporting my channel. With the Super Bowl happening yesterday, we're not really in the Madden off season, but we're starting to approach it, and I want to thank you guys so very much for the love this year on the channel. I made some big moves behind the scenes with Underdog Fantasy, which is awesome, and that's all thanks to you. I'm basically locked into being a full-time YouTuber for 3 more years, which is incredible. So thank you guys so very much for the love and support. You guys are honestly probably like the best thing in my life. I can't even lie to you, but that's gonna do it. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your week, and until next time, boys, I'm out. Love y'all so much. Peace.